Chauncey Lively did not originate the Brassie Nymph, but he did popularize it in a 1983 article in Pennsylvania Angler. I am tying it on a number 16 hook. It is intended to be a very small fly, and it could be tied even smaller. I'm using 0.20 millimeter wire, and I'm tying the wire in the length of the shank, keeping the wire on top of the shank. And I'm going to go back over that and tie it back down a little bit closer to the bend of the hook. I'm going to put a single turn whip knot in my thread so that I can cradle it and it won't come off as I use the rotary function to wrap the wire. I find that I get a more even wrap if I use the rotary function of the vise, but obviously for as long as this fly has been tied, it's just been wrapped around that shank without a vise, without a rotary tool. So try to keep my wire right next to each wrap and get a nice clean body wrap on it. And if it doesn't turn out perfect, it's okay. I don't know that our insects are all perfectly segmented either. Just come up and leave enough room for the thorax. Wind around the top of my thread. I put 3 wraps over the top. Pull my wire back and go underneath of it close to get it tied in. And then I'll grab that wire right down by the shank, wiggle it off. Call it helicoptering. I find though the closer that I can grab to the hook shank, the cleaner my break is. I have a little bit of muskrat fur. This is a little tuft from the cheek of the pelt. I was pulling the fibers out of the tuft and the whole cheek piece came out. Instructions say to include guard hairs for the thorax. So I'll spin those muskrat fur fibers onto my thread and just wrap them up for that really buggy thorax. Just go around the eye of the hook a couple times and then whip finish it for the head. I'll push my scissors against the thread to clip it out. And because it's supposed to be buggy, as long as the eye is clean, I'm not worried about the junk that's hanging around. I do use a diluted goop for head cement. So I just stick my needle in my jar. On a small hook like this, I'll pull off the first drop and use the second. I can run a hackle tip through the eye of the hook then just to make sure that it's clean and tippet ready.